Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, welcome to the channel. It's time for more meta leveling up builds, and we're going to be taking a look at the Radiant builds today. Keep in mind that when I say leveling, these are the types of builds I would use in Escalation 1 to 13, Escalation 10 to 50, and the Hunting Grounds while reforging. I would not recommend these specific builds for Heroic Escalation or Dauntless Trials. If you enjoy the builds, consider leaving a like, and if you enjoy Dauntless and are not subscribed already, consider subscribing to the channel. I post Dauntless content here every week. Now, I'll be real here. It doesn't seem like anyone can come to an agreement on the topic of which of the Radiant weapons is actually better right now. Do you go with the rezakiri weapons to get the perfect perk economy, or do you sacrifice a +3 to reap the benefits of the Valo unique effect? And on top of that, it's not entirely certain whether or not Adrenaline and Endurance are worth buying into all of the time either. So we're going to be going over a quote normal build that doesn't buy into Endurance, and then we'll go over the Adrenaline and Endurance build. And I'll start off with each build as the rezakiri bond, but I will show you what you can do to switch to the Valo bond. For the normal build, we're ideally going to want to try and get a perk summary of 6 Adrenaline, 6 Berserker, 6 Catalyst, 6 Cunning, 6 Overpower, and 6 Predator. The exact perk summary we go with is going to depend on the weapon, as a couple are not the best at utilizing Adrenaline, and Axe doesn't pair well with Berserker. Fun fact, there are actually 11 different armor combinations that we could use to get this perk summary. However, all of them are going to require the Time Weave helmet, and the exact build set that I've chosen will allow us to seamlessly swap to the Valo bond for each weapon. And that's going to be the Time Weave helmet, the Thrax chest, the Torgadoro gloves, and the Koshai boots. Let's begin with chain blades and strikers. We're going to have the Chronivore chain blades or the Chronivore strikers with Adrenaline and Berserker inside. For chain blades, I would recommend the Reaper's Dance Special and Serrated Blades mod. And for strikers, I would recommend the Titan's Crash Special and either the Cyclonic Strike Plate or Echo Brace Driver mods. And we are bonding them to the rezakiri strikers or chain blades. We'll be using the Discipline Omnicell, as this build will be focused on meta offensively, and you can choose your choice of lantern with a catalyst inside. For the armor, we'll go with the Time Weave helmet with Adrenaline inside, the Thrax chest piece with Berserker inside, the Torgadoro gloves with Overpower inside, and the Koshai boots with Catalyst inside. For the tonics, I would recommend Blitz, Frenzy, and Aether Drive tonics. Strikers and chain blades, I would say, have the best time when it comes to perk economy, as they can utilize Adrenaline well, and they don't really need more attack speed beyond Catalyst and the Blitz tonic. If you wanted to switch this to the Valo weapon bond, all you have to do is swap the bond to Valo, then switch the Adrenaline in the weapon to a Cunning. The reason I would say switch Adrenaline and not Berserker is that an extra Berserker would likely have more value than the Adrenaline, but it also wouldn't hinder the Valo unique effect all that much. The difference between having 800 HP and 950 HP for the Valo unique effect is a recharge rate difference of about 2 seconds, from 13.5 seconds to 11.5 seconds. Even if you don't take damage, considering your average fight would last 30 or 40 seconds, you are going to have the same number of Valo unique effect procs in most cases. So for the Valo bond here, I would recommend the perk summary of 6 Berserkers, 6 Catalyst, 6 Cunning, 6 Overpower, 6 Predator, 3 Adrenaline, and 3 Aether Hunter. Now we'll take a look at the Sword and the Hammer. Sword and Hammer are kind of iffy when it comes to the usage of Adrenaline, so instead we'll throw in some attack speed. We'll use the Chronivore Sword or the Chronivore Hammer with Berserker and Evasive Fury inside. For Sword, I would recommend either Avenging or Valiant Overdrive for the special, with Recursive Hilt for the mod. For Hammer, I would go with the Mighty Landbreaker with Extended Clip, and we'll do the rezakiri bond for now. Once again, the Discipline Omnicell, and it's going to be your choice of lantern with Catalyst inside. Our armor and cells setup is going to be mostly the same. The Time Weave helmet is instead going to have Assassin's Frenzy inside, then the Thrax chest with Berserker inside, the Torgadoro gloves with Overpower inside, and the Koshai boots with Catalyst inside. For tonics, I would recommend Blitz, Frenzy, and Aether Drive. but you can actually take things out that are a much higher level than you when you're going with the Assault tonic instead of the Aether Drive. So our perk summary here is going to be 6 Berserker, 6 Catalyst, 6 Cunning, 6 Overpower, 6 Predator, 3 Assassin's Frenzy, and 3 Evasive Fury. Then to switch to the Valamir weapon bond, we'll swap the bond to Valamir and then swap the Evasive Fury in the weapon to Cunning. And this will just replace the Evasive Fury in our perk summary with Aether Hunter. I'd say for these weapons that you're swapping attack speed for the Valamir weapon bond, those are going to be a bit more worth running Valamir in my opinion. For the axe, as I stated previously, you're going to want to get rid of Berserker in favor of some more attack speed. So we use the Chronivore axe with Evasive Fury and Adrenaline inside. I'd recommend the Grim Onslaught special with the Overcharged Cylinder mod, and we'll start with the Rezakiri unique effect. Once again, the Discipline Omnicell, and it's going to be your choice of Lantern with Catalyst. Our Time Weave helmet will have Assassin's Frenzy, our Thrax chest will have Adrenaline, then the Torgadoro gloves with Overpower, and the Koshai boots with Catalyst, and the Blitz, Frenzy, and Aether Drive tonics. So the axe will take a perk summary of 6 Adrenaline, 6 Catalyst, 6 Cunning, 6 Overpower, 6 Predator, 3 Assassin's Frenzy, and 3 Evasive Fury. And we'll do the same switch for the Valamir weapon here, going to the Valamir weapon bond and replacing the Evasive Fury in the weapon with Cunning. Now for War Pike, and we'll want to switch Adrenaline with Savagery, as if you're wounding, you're not going to be using stamina that much, and Savagery is going to have more of an impact than it anyway, at least when it comes to leveling up areas. So we'll use the Chronivore Warpike with Berserker and Savagery inside. We'll use Savage Wellspring as the special with Munitions Amplifier as the mod. Rezakiri weapon as the bond with Discipline Omnicell and your choice of Lantern with Catalyst inside. Then we're going to rock the Time Weave helmet having Savagery inside, the Thrax chest will have Berserker inside, the Torgadoro gloves with Overpower inside, and the Koshai boots with Catalyst inside. I would recommend the Insight, Blitz, and Frenzy tonics here, and we're going to have a perk summary of 6 Berserker, 6 Catalyst, 6 Cunning, 6 Overpower, 6 Predator, and 6 Savagery. For the Valamir bond, we'll swap to it, then we'll replace the Berserker in the weapon with a Cunning. When it comes to repeaters, right now one of my previous build videos has you covered, and it's going to be the same build as that, just with a Radiant barrel on instead. But once the repeater refresh comes out, you can copy the sword and hammer version of the build. Now for the Adrenaline Endurance setups, and you can play this well with Strikers, Chainblades, and Axe. For Warpike, you'd have to dedicate yourself solely to heavy attacks, which in leveling up, you could get more out of wounding. And for Sword, if you want to run the Charged Sword Focus or Dynamic Blade Core mods, then you can justify this as well. So we're going to rock the Chronivore weapon with 2 Berserker cells inside. For the mod and special, it'll be the ones I've stated for all of these weapons previously. Rezakiri weapon as the bond with the Discipline Omnicell and your choice of Lantern with Catalyst. These builds still require the Time Weave helmet, which we will put Cunning inside. We have the Scrave chest with Endurance inside, the Embermane gloves with Predator inside, and the Scrave boots with Catalyst inside. Blitz, Frenzy, Aether Drive for tonics, and we'll take a perk summary of 6 Adrenaline, 6 Berserker, 6 Catalyst, 6 Cunning, 6 Endurance, and 6 Predator. Another version of the setup I would recommend would be to swap the Berserkers that are in the weapon with Overpower instead, which is what we would do in the case of our Axe version of this build, and all other things would be the same. I can appreciate in the meta right now that there isn't one specific answer to the builds you could be using, and when it comes to Radiant weapons, you could use any of these builds for your reforges and you would be just fine. But thank you guys for watching. Consider leaving a like for me, and if you enjoyed Dauntless and are not subscribed already, consider subscribing to the channel. I post Dauntless content here every week. And head over to the Twitch, link in the description. That's where I do the majority of my giveaways for stuff in Dauntless. But I have been Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, and I will catch you guys next time.